Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the final day of the Vainglory European Live Summer Championship 2016, because day 3 is championship day, my friends, and we are going to be crowning the best of Europe. We're down to the top 4, and somebody today is going to be going home with that trophy. I'm Forecourt Jester, once more here with the Sons of the Fold. The ridiculously good fold. It's going to be the bacon. It's going to be the Fuji. Guys, it's been a heck of a weekend.
It absolutely has been. We started with 8 teams here in Cologne, Germany. Now we're down to just 4, and they're going to be duking it out to try and take that top spot for all of Europe, get themselves a spot at the World Championships, and of course, the $17,000 that goes along with first place.
It's not exactly chump change there, Fuji.
No, it's not chump change. You can buy a lot of McDonald's with that. A lot of other foods these players love to
I'm glad you're not winning then.
Oh, man. But no, like, we definitely have had a really tough weekend, right? These teams have been going neck and neck for the last 2 days, and we've only gotten rid of 4, so we've still got quite a few teams left here. But this is going to be essentially almost a finals match for our first series. We're seeing GankStars versus Team Secret kick off today, and it's going to be just a clash of titans of some sort, especially after watching the way they performed yesterday and over the weekend. We saw some insane matches, some 30-minute long matches yesterday. Today, if they continue to push that marathon, it's going to be a lot on the psychology of these players.
Yeah, absolutely is. I mean, having to go through those sorts of matches, at least they were able to get a night's rest between those games and the ones that they're going to play here today. But like you said, if you end up having those incredibly grueling matches to start things off in the semifinals, how's it going to affect you going into the grand finals when you know that you're up against the best Europe has to offer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Saturday is always a taxing day, not only on the players, it's because there is actually a long physical amount of time that they have to get through. But I know Humanist yesterday, actually, I mean, he basically Craig-asmed all over the cast, and he himself, it's good to see him here back today. He has recovered, and he and Jinyi actually going to be starting things off for us today. But let's take a little bit more of a recap of what we did see, because it has been 3 days. We not actually have a guarantee. You're all here for them, although hopefully some of those winners of the Fin Skins and all that are back to spread some of that glory. But we had Team Secret and Rising Lotus. Fuji, that was a powerhouse way to start things up.
Yeah, it definitely was. Rising Lotus coming in as the 8th seed, went up against the #1 seed, and it kind of turned out how you might expect. Team Secret taking that with a quick 2-0, and then following up quickly after that, Mouse Sports into G2 Esports, taking that 2-1, which then led Team Secret against Mouse Sports, which was an insane marathon of 3 matches. Like, the first team to take a game off of Team Secret was Mouse Sports, and we thought they might win it all, but Team Secret managed to come back and claw their way to a victory in the last 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely could have gone either way, and unfortunately, Mouse Sports, after that loss, they just really weren't able to recover as they went up against GankStars, who came out of Group B and did end up falling 2-0 in one of our final series of the day. So, unfortunately for Mouse Sports, despite the incredible performance against the tournament favorites of Team Secret, they ended up going home in that 5th and 6th position, which does lead us to Team Secret and GankStars being the 2 teams off of this screen to be moving on to this semifinal, the first one that we're going to have today.
Now, there were actually some pretty cool storylines on Group A there, Bacon, because Team Secret was gunning for their 20th series in a row, and Mouse might have actually broken that, but they did end up 21 series in a row from Evil A. That's actually unheard of anywhere here in Vainglory.
Yeah, they're still going to be looking for 22 and 23 today, but 21 best of series victories in a row is absolutely ridiculous, and really that's why Team Secret is the favorite coming in. It's not just the fact that they won the previous 3 live championships, it's also that they are still the hottest team in Vainglory coming into this event.
So do take a note that G2 Esports did defeat Rising Lotus, so Rising Lotus unfortunately 0-4, but G2, if we go over to Group B, that's why you have to make this note of it, because we did actually follow up for the first day with the rest of the first round matches there, and as we get into that, I mean, that was kind of, the other half of everything there. So GankStars and Tsunami led us off, the #2 seed against 7, but we always said, Tsunami kind of belied their seed.
Yeah, Tsunami is a team that has come into the championships at the 7th seed before, and then ended up making it to the finals. As you can see here on the screen, that wasn't quite the case this time around, but they did end up knocking off the #2 seed in GankStars. And then the other day one matchup was Snow Avalanche versus SK Gaming. Snow Avalanche, number 3 seed, showing why they were the number 3 seed. A lot of questions had to be answered in that matchup between Snow and SK Gaming. And so you then see the winner's bracket matchup ended up being Snow versus Snow of Snow Tsunami and Snow Avalanche.
Yeah, the Snow-a-side match, as I did call it right there. And Fuji, this was where the challenger, legacy of the number 3 seed coming into it. They were the team that was not incepted into Evil 8. They fought their way tooth and nail into split number 1's finals, got there, survived split 2, and into a number 3 seed as well. That was the big storyline of Group B, I feel.
Yeah, and they're still performing in the tournament as well. Like, they didn't just show up and go home immediately. They've fought tooth and nail since they've been here and really proved that challenger teams can make it all the way to the end. We talk about Team Secret having such an undefeated scoreline and just winning so many series back to back to back, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is whether you win now. So all of this build up, really, Avalanche could take it just as much even without that kind of historic record. So we're definitely going to be keeping our eyes on Avalanche. Unfortunately, SK Gaming did go home yesterday as well. GankStars really showing up in day 2 compared to their day 1. GankStars comes out blazing, going 2-0 in their first set and then 2 in the next series as well, having back-to-back perfect games in those 4-0s. So GankStars looking very strong coming out of the elimination bracket. And then, of course, Snow Tsunami versus G2 Esports was definitely a crazy matchup to watch back and forth the whole time. But G2 Esports, with these aggressive Fortress comps, just continue to take games off of teams left and right, and then puts them in the semis against Avalanche.
And that's what we're going to see here today, ladies and gentlemen. So that's how the top 4 did come to be. Tasty bacon. I mean, there's definitely a lot of big storylines here, but some big numbers. We talked about Secret there as well, but GankStars is the number 2 seed, and Team Secret, they've faced off multiple times, I feel, over the last few months.
Yeah, they have actually played each other quite a bit, and thus far, Team Secret has kind of been like the kryptonite of GankStars Cerberus. Their record coming into these championships is 6-1 against GankStars, going back to the previous split. But that was also for GankStars. It was just repeatedly, that was the only team they lost to during the Evil 8 for the most part. They had one other series lost, but that was it. It was almost every time that they got knocked out of the Evil 8 tournaments, it was because of Team Secret.
So you can't sleep on either of these teams. And again, Snow Avalanche coming into this now up against G2. It's going to be sort of an explosive second series. And either way, the seeds came out pretty much as you might expect there as well. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Coming into this. That's very different than what we had in NA, Fuji.
It is very different, and the only reason that 4 couldn't have an opportunity to make it is because they had to play Seed 2 yesterday. Yep. So it's nice to have sequential numbers, we can have them, but removing seeds altogether, we're looking at just 4 really strong teams. I'm sure they're not thinking about what seed they are anymore. That's kind of in the back of their head. They're just thinking about getting through the semifinals, punching their ticket to the finals, which eventually might lead them to Worlds later this year.
Yeah, the number 1 finisher here, whoever takes home the championship, is going to get an automatic bid into the World Finals coming up in December, and that's what these teams really want. Yes, the fame, the accolades of being able to say you're the best in Europe is great, but you want to be able to prove yourself on the world stage, and so number 1 team here will be getting that chance.
Well, it's all about the regional improvements, right? Oh, I'm the best in my town, I'm best in my city, best in my region, best in Europe. Coming into that, we had some German teams, we had some French teams here, for example. Team Secret still, the pride of France at this point. But as we move on, best in Worlds is going to be a really big step for some of these guys. So that is how we got here today, and those are who we are going to see playing. And of course, we do have a few goodies for you guys out there as well, because you can tell us who you think is going to win. Use hashtag VainGloryLive at VainGloryEsport. Get your voice heard, and then you're going to be put into a draw that we will actually finish out today, gentlemen, because by the end of the championship, somebody's going home with a new Fire HD10 tablet, courtesy of Amazon. And I do believe you actually have one here, Bacon. You've been using it for all of your stats pretty consistently here on desk.
Yeah, it's a great utility to have, and either you're just looking to pull up some quick information or to play Vainglory on, especially. Awesome tablet to use, crystal clear and very responsive.
Well, you've been having fun with that as we've been having fun here at the championships. But as well, after each series, once more, we will be giving away 3 of those Finn legendary skins. Use hashtag FinnSkin at the end of the series for your chance to go home with a little bit of swag right there. And none of this would be possible or would not be possible because it's totally here and in the flesh. I can attest I'm right here physically. But, you know, Amazon has been very good to us. They've been a very big sponsor for the Evil 8. And the Amazon coins is a great way to get some of that ice into your matchup. You know, we got new heroes coming out, new skins. Baron's around the corner here as well, everyone. You got to remember. So if you need to stock up, use the Amazon App Store on Android. You can get up to 30% off. We've even gotten a higher discount for you now of ice purchases. And if you're here in Germany as well, another 20% of your coins back this weekend. Hit up Moobot with all the details on that so he can hook you up with all the addresses for you to punch in. That being said, we also have one more new feature here, gentlemen.
Ooh.
Because a little bit later on, we're going to have a bit of a Q&A. So you actually have a chance to message us on social media and have your chance to be, again, heard. Ask a few questions. If there's anything about Evil 8, Vainglory, the competitions, the players, anything personal that you want to know about us, let us know on social right now. There will be details in Twitch chat on that, and we'll be reading some of those questions later on as well. So hopefully you guys have some burning questions that we can get to, and that'll be a nice little fun Q&A.
Can we ask how Fuji manages to look so sharp every day? That's what I want to know.
Well, if you ask it, he might actually answer that. The key to the youthful look here of Fuji.
The sharp look, just that you got to have a good grinding stone.
You know, what I might actually expect is, you know, how did you grow that beard? And then subsequently, why did you lose it?
Oh, man. We'll save that for later.
Well, that might be some fodder for you guys. But that's it for the beginning of the end. Let's actually get to the beginning here, because Team Secret and GankStars have clashed multiple times. And if you don't know what they look like, well, here's a bit of a reminder. The most winningest team in, I probably should just say all of Vainglory at this point, but Team Secret, 3-time championship winners, going for their 4th, the Grand Slam, if you will, here, Bacon. You know, it's going to be harsh for GankStars to go up against that.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned earlier, in the Evil 8, they met up multiple times, 3 different series competitions between these two, and Team Secret took home the victory in all 3 of them. So GankStars going to be looking for a different outcome this time around, and it's a little bit of a different lineup than what they saw in the Evil 8, with TetnoJJ in the jungle, IraqiZorro, the ever-present laner, and nettetoilette as the roam.
Yeah, this is a definitely all-star squadron coming into their own throughout the tournament after a little bit of struggling on day 1. They've shown us they're not here to just play, they're here to wreck face as they come into the semifinals, giving us probably the best performances we've seen since we've started this championship. Of course, that leads us to our player to watch, nettetoilette. He's going to actually be the roam star for this game. We're going to see a bit of a roam-on-roam battle you'll hear in just a minute from the player to watch on the other side, but we know just the enthusiasm these teams have for victory, and it's all going to come down onto, can these roams really land those late game combos? Is it the force to cores coming out, the gauntlets? And this guy has really been stepping up his game. We saw some questionable moves out of him on some of his plays in day 1. We were wondering, can he really bring it to the level of competition he needs to be for day 2? He didn't only bring it, he really made some critical plays. We already know Iraqi's extremely gifted mechanically. Tetno's got the aggression in his mind, so he's going to be back there to support his team.
Well, nettetoilette, yeah, as you said, critical moves right there. Fuji, though, I have to say, I think you don't know what spoilers mean, because now everybody knows who the next player to watch to be. So I know you're new to this, but we'll help you out on that.
I'm trying, man.
But the carry from Canada, you know, IraqiZorro, these guys have a lot of confidence in their captain. They have just overflowing positive for the team. And Iraqi himself said this is the best iteration that they have really, you know, come together, and they feel good about this.
Yeah, they absolutely do. But on the other side is going to be Team Secret. Mowgli as the roamer, Kavalafar in the lane, and Palmatoro in the jungle. The most decorated Vainglory team in really all of the, not just the region, but like really all the world. And yeah, like you said, most consistent. These 3 have been playing together ever since the first live championships back in the autumn season. It has been this lineup staying together throughout.
Yeah, and this team has been flying pretty high for quite some time, but eventually planes do run out of gas. So is this the time where they do have to come down off of their pedestal? We'll have to see.
Well, we will have to see. And as you alluded to earlier, it's going to be that Rome-to-Rome matchup as the player to watch. Mowgli, arguably the biggest personality in all of the European Vainglory scene. And you can see they're getting ready for this matchup, psyching up his team, always a smile on his face.
Yeah,
but
the
best thing I think about this one was the signature heroes, Finn versus Finn. I mean, whoever can get that Finn, obviously this time around, they have kind of said they're not as big on Finn, but Mowgli said that last season as well, ended up playing Finn for the majority of the championships, and it's one of the big playmakers, so whoever can get that Finn and make those plays with the forced accords, the quibbles, that could be the difference maker in this series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I love the idea that these kind of picks continue to evolve. So even though we do know we have these really strong picks like Finn coming in, these teams are thinking like, okay, we kind of see how you're playing this Finn. We see how you're playing this Lyra Rome when she ever gets in. We're going to pick up an Arden. We're going to do a Catherine. We're actually going to make you go up against something that maybe you don't have as much practice against. We constantly see the struggle of blocking some of these ultimates on the less used runs. So I hope we see some new things today.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a great series, that is for sure, as Mowgli having some fun with the camera there.
There we go.
Adjusting the glasses.
Like, no, there's headphones on. I can't do it.
But again, the players, they're just about ready to go, and it's not going to be too long before we get underway.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen Mowgli every time at a championship. He's gone, at least to me personally, not only is his English really improved, champion to championship, but I feel like his personality improves, because when we first met them, he's like a little bit more of a, you know, kind of awkward,
quiet, reserved.
Yeah, but now he's Mohawk Mowgli. Like, he's coming into this one, he's just blazing trails.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are going to be getting underway, and right off the bat, you know, we've been talking a lot this championship about the double heal. We're not going to have any heal.
No heal. We see Lyra go out. We see Team Secret go out. Most notably, this is the first time all championships GankStars has not banned Lance on A side. So this means they get to pick up Lance. It's a pretty big change in their draft strategy.
Yeah, absolutely a huge change. Maybe, again, like you said, trying to catch Team Secret off guard with this changeup, because obviously Team Secret, they've been watching these games just as much as we have. They know that they've been banning away the Lance on the A side, so maybe trying to just catch them off guard here. But the Samuel going over to Team Secret, this is a pick that they told us they can play in any of the 3 positions. It's most likely going to be lane or jungle, but you never really know what they're going to do, and as this possible Sky comes through, that may give us a better idea.
Yeah, they definitely are prioritizing the carries instead of getting that roam. They don't think that's as important. I do like the Lance pickup. It is a strong thing for Palmatoro normally. We also knew he played Kroll as well, so it deters them from some of his comfort picks. Sky is not something we're used to seeing from Team Secret in combination with another carry. So we're seeing very different drafts coming out of both teams right now. GankStars picking up the Arden, though. We are going with a little bit of that new style they brought yesterday.
Yeah, this is definitely a change up that from really anything that we've seen in Europe that GankStars has been running as of yesterday, and they had some phenomenal success with it. We'll see what this last pick is going to be. The Vox. That's rather surprising, because Vox still without a win here in the European Championships.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have a strategy prepared with this hero, you have to be a little bit nervous about picking him due to his win rate. But we do see the Saw come out. Most likely a Roam Saw, I would think.
It's either going to be the Saw port or Samuel as the Roam, but Mowgli right now is the one with it.
All right, straight out of Twitch chat, it's going to be Humanist and Jinyu.
That's right, straight out of Twitch chat. We'll have that documentary coming later in the year. I'm hyped right now on this matchup. It's going to be so good. I'm also hyped right now. We got a cake courtesy of Goofy German Girl. Thank you so much bringing this in for all of us casters. Mashingi, how you feeling about this matchup here today?
So good. As the desk was saying, this is Team Secret. They are the hottest team right now.
They are quite handsome, I will agree.
That's not what I meant. Their playstyle.
Oh, well, I get it.
You know what?
On all levels. One of the hottest teams out there right now, but I'm sure this match is going to be fire. GankStars up against Team Secret. Let's get it on right here. Mowgli's gonna be on the Samuel. This is
what is this?
This is genius.
Genius. You know what? He has love base damage at the very start. This is, you know what? I think this is the first time we've seen a Roam Samuel. a Romeo, as you will?
Well, you know what? Whenever a new hero comes out, I'm always going to play it as Rome just to have some fun. And I got to say, it can be quite effective. Now, you don't have that kind of tanky frontliner presence that a lot of roamers have. You don't have the ability to peel, but there's a lot of burst, and you can get a lot done.
Yeah, that is very true. And he's got this excellent zoning ability, that Drifting Dark. You know, people don't want to be caught in it because it does a lot of damage. And especially if, you know, Samuel attacks you during it, even if he is a roam, you know, it's going to change the pace of a team fight.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you can actually control the area where Saw's going to be fighting as well, right? Drop that Drifting Dark. Your damage, base damage is already pretty high, and just go from there.
You know, it's very curious. Both of the teams have gone for very, very different approaches. We have a Team Secret, lots of high DPS, lots of burst. You know, they're quite squishy. And look at GankStars. We've got this Arden, we've got this Lance here. They're very tanky, very good for frontlining for that Vox. But Vox, he's been kind of falling flat on his face.
All right, well, we see Team Secret moving up into the lane here as a group. And this is going to be a nice little pressure, I imagine, they're going to be putting out here. And it looks like we're going to be seeing also how everybody's voting on this matchup. I guess people able to just put their opinion out. Who's going to win, GankStars or Team Secret? Did you have an opinion coming into this one?
You know what? Team Secret, they've been doing so well, but GankStars, I don't know what happened to them yesterday, but they look like a completely different team. But Team Secret!
Well, double root. This is going to be the Githian wall. And Palmator eating a lot of damage. One more attack. Oh, that potion doing a lot of work, but he does go down. First blood to GankStars. The squishy composition backfiring a little bit. Look, Volivar hopping that kiddie pool with style. Signs out, teleports back to base. It's going to be Mowgli to hold this lane down just for a little bit. But this more kind of typical composition, getting that first blood for GankStars.
Yeah, you know, this is not how Team Secret wants that fight to go. You know, I'm not just saying the obvious here. They're very pushy. They've got a lot of damage here, and they're not the ones that should have taken the first blood. You know, we should have seen GankStars fall into that, but they didn't. They turned it around because of that impale.
I mean, was that a result of not having vision?
You know what? I think it was just bad positioning. All three of them got caught by the impale, and he's got Sixth Sense. He's got that weapon blade. That's a lot of damage there, and you know, it really showed.
Yeah, it did really show that this Arden plus Lance combo is just so deadly. Now that Volivar's made his way back out to the lane, it's going to give Mowgli a chance to go ahead and get back to base, pick up a few items, and then he'll be running right back out to apply some pressure here. Look at that squirt gun just doing work, suppressing fire here. You're gonna have him spun up and immediately trying to just put pressure out on this turret. Down to 50%, 45% of its health, just about. Tetno slingshotted forward. Volivar holding on to that roadie run. It's gonna be hard to land that impale.
Yeah, you know, this is the push compass. We've never seen it before, but, you know, they've done a lot of good damage there onto the turret. But, you know, we saw it in that first fight. Team Secret, they are vulnerable, and let's just see if GankStars can exploit that.
Yeah, it's going to be the impale. Two-man impale! The Githian wall, Volivar will roadie run and flip back into a better position, but my goodness, like, how are you landing two-man impales right there? I asked Mowgli how he was able to do it, and he's like, well, I mean, they just stood there. And or it's easier when they don't see you coming, but right there, Team Secret obviously saw Tetno. I guess Tetno just making it work. Pressure galore just coming out here in the lane. Mowgli, Volivar, Palmator able to take this turret down in 4 minutes.
That is quite the push coming out from Team Secret there. Never mind. Team Secret.
We haven't. Yeah.
Shh, be quiet.
All right.
Be quiet.
It didn't happen. Broke back. Yeah.
Anyway, bringing it back. You know what I really like about Team Secret is this is the semifinals. There's no elimination bracket for them to fall back to, and they're pulling off such a wacky composition like this. Yeah. They have no fear.
This is the thing, though. Okay, these guys, of course, you know, they're great players. We have talent across the board. So many mechanically skilled players here at this championship, but I've been saying it for a long time. It really feels like Team Secret are just artists, and their draft and their play style, they're able to, you know, pull out these compositions that you really never see coming.
Yeah, you know, this is something they did when they first entered the scene as media picks. So they came in, pulled all of these heroes, everybody's like, what are you guys doing and how are you making it work? But that's Team Secret. Their synergy is so good. But you know, we can't deny GankStars. They're really good. They have the skills, they have the talent, they've made it to the semifinals.
Oh, they definitely have.
They have. In style.
And here we are. Well, yes, I was so impressed with GankStars yesterday as in their last matchup. Like, they just put on a clinic right there. But it's going to be Team Secret taking the mid away from GankStars, looking to just continue to apply the pressure. Well, one of the biggest things you can do when you're trying to control the map, get the mid of your opponent. It allows you, if you do get into a skirmish, you can fight. Otherwise, you just take that away. You deny them resources across the map.
Yeah, you know, they're so good at applying pressure. And you know what? We've got that Crystal Vox there. Crystal Vox takes takes a little while to ramp up. And, you know, Arden and Lance, we've seen Lance, he's doing quite well, but that's a root coming on Palmatoro.
Palmatoro stunned up as well. He does 3-strike to reposition. Mowgli, he's in deep, getting a lot of damage down on the backside. Now, Volifar is going to boot forward. He is spun up. Net eating a lot of damage. And he had that potion, but it's not going to be enough. There you go. Dash and splash. You are done. Tetno, he's going to roll forward, but Iraqi's in a bad position right here, mate. Goes down, and that's going to be
Iraqi Dunzo.
Iraqi Dunzo right there. 2-1 in favor of Team Secret, building up this net worth lead and just taking complete control of this map.
You know what? They may have taken control, but we're seeing 2 of the 3 members teleporting back. They're not going to be able to push any objectives out of it. And actually, if you look at this, you know, look at the gold difference, it's only about 1.8 kilometers.
What is going on here?
I don't know. I'm back. I'm out.
It's all right. Well, I'm not. I don't really know kilometers, so I'll go with that. We'll just say you're correct.
Anyway, as I was saying, you know, they've not been able to push that many objectives off of that, you know, successful team fight. I want to see Team Secret applying the pressure, ramping it up. This is what this push comp should be doing, because as they get into the late game, this comp will be falling off, and GankStars, they'll be coming into their own here.
All right, this is a dangerous position for Inisaw. Oh, that's a nice Oblivion. Mowgli sees the pressure coming out. It looked like they could have killed Volifar. Drops that Oblivion, immediately cancels off any aggression coming out of GankStars. And really nice play there, but it's going to be another Impale. K-Vol, you're in a dangerous position. The Fountain does come out to keep him alive just a little bit longer. Volifar, he's put that suppressing fire down, making that squirt gun go to work for him. IraqiZorro is in a bad place. Palmatoro able to find that kill right there. And Team Secret just continue to build on this lead.
Yeah, I think this is the thing when you come in with a comp like this, you know, people, you know, it either works really well or it doesn't. People just don't know how to respond. But Team Secret, they're going for the gold mine. And I don't think we're going to see any challenge coming out from GankStars about this.
No, they really are not in a place where they can. And I have to start to worry almost. You know, you have this Lance Arden and you're not able to apply pressure?
Well, they have been. You know, when Tetno pulls off those very successful impales, he's been doing a lot. But, you know, Team Secret, this is their comp. They are very high burst. They've got a lot of potential there. And it's the early game. This is their spike. This is their time.
I mean, you say Tetno's able to land the impales. Yes, he has. But what have they accomplished off the back of it? They haven't built a net worth lead. They haven't taken control of the map. And Team Secret have already taken a turret down. So things just looking really good right now for the 3-time champions. But that's going to be a root gauntlet goes down. K-Ball, you're in a bad place. Get the wall into the gauntlet, but somehow stays alive. The Fountain just doing crazy work right here. And does get a lot of damage, but bounces OP right there. It's going to be Iraqi's on the chase. Now, Palma, you're going to go down. Rest in peace, my man. Mowgli drops the Oblivion right on top, but this looks like it's going to be the ace for GankStars as Team Secret crumbling. Tetno finding the double kill, and they're right back in it.
Oh, and you were just saying, I don't see any pressure coming from GankStars. I don't see any pressure. Look at this pressure. Look at that. Volifar gets, you know, using his roadie run, gets stunned into the gauntlet, but that Fountain, that Serpent's Mask, that is what's keeping him alive. Unfortunately, their position is a little bit bad from Team Secret, sticking a little bit too closely together, and we do see Saw falling. And, you know, again, we're seeing bad position coming out from Team Secret. GankStars are taking advantage of this, and Mowgli, he is the support. He's got a little bit of damage there, but it's just not enough. And with 5 seconds on the clock left, he's not going to prevent that ace.
I love when the Githian wall comes out, and it just feels like he's just backhanding him. He's like, you know what, Oblivion, bah, get out of here. This is one of the coolest combos. When you don't have a wall behind you, you're just like, oh, drop the gauntlet. Now you got a wall that you can knock someone into. It's a really nice little combo. Well played out of GankStars. This is why they were one of the teams that a lot of people expected could potentially upset Team Secret here in the EU Championship. So we'll see as moving forward, though. This Team Secret combo is going to have a lot of power. But you mentioned the Serpent Mask is one tool for Volifar able to sustain himself. We don't see that a whole lot.
You know, that's why I'm thinking, you know, when we're seeing Tetno coming in for the impale, he's not even dodging. He's just like, you know what, it's okay. I get impaled, I'm just going to get all my health back by just hitting you. And unfortunately, I think it would work, but there's a lot of CC there. You know, we saw that gauntlet. It was really nice, the Githian wall and the kind of roadie run combination stunning him into the gauntlet. And I think that kind of threw him off by surprise.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, reflex block's going to be a really big tool, but you can only reflex block so many things.
So many.
We're just getting started here. It's just going to get better as time goes on.
It's just getting better, you're right.
Okay, let's talk about Aftershock here.
Aftershock. This is a Vox build that we don't see very much, and you know I think it was quite popular about a few updates ago. And the whole point of it is it did a lot of burst, and it worked really well when you were against tanky heroes. Unfortunately, Team Secret here they're not very tanky.
Yeah, so
I think maybe just going for more heavy crystal. And actually, if you looked at the positioning of Team Secret in the previous fights, they're all staying very clumped together. And this is something that surprises me, because Team Secret, they've normally done very well against crystal boxes. They stay very spread out and avoid those resonance bounces. But this time, they're not doing that.
But do you just you don't build the alternating current? Do you build it as your third item? Because we got Broken Myth now and a weapon infusion.
That weapon infusion confuses me. I would prefer the crystal infusion personally, but
Hashtag EU things?
hashtag EU things. There's the gauntlet!
Gauntlet's down, Volifar stunned up. It's gonna be the Oblivion trying to buy some time. nettetoilette is sleeping. Palma, he's in deep here, eating a lot of damage, but so is Tetno. It's gonna be the Fountain to come out of nettetoilette, keeps him in fighting shape. Now it's Team Secret trying to find better position, but Mowgli should be going down. One more attack out of Iraqi. There he goes, finds that kill. Now at 2v3 as Volifar stands his ground. He's gonna be able to pick up the kill on net, and now chasing, tries to move forward with that dash and splash, but Palma Toro from range, making that forward barrage work exactly as he needed to. And Team Secret right back into the dominant position here. And do you think they can push forward with this? Do they look to maybe grab something out of the jungle?
You know what? I don't think they're going to push anything out of it. They're not going to get to the turret, and the gold mine's certainly not full enough. And this is what's, what strikes me as unusual from this. Team Secret, they're winning those team fights, and you've got a lot of sustain on the side of Kivalvar. He's got that Serpent's Mask, but they're not pushing those objectives. They're not clearing GankStars jungle, and I feel like that's not working in their favor. That gold lead, it should be 3-4K by now, and it's actually 1.9K, not kilometers. I'd like to know.
Yeah, definitely. We actually had clarification on that coming through production, and much appreciated there. But yeah, Team Secret, you say that and it feels like, it's not too high of a network lead, but as time goes on, if Mowgli picks up one offensive item, they actually have an insane burst across the board. And it's now breaking point on Volifar. If this fight goes on, it's going to be very scary. Death from Above's not going to land exactly how Palma wanted it, but he's eating a lot of damage. Kval standing his ground, trying to make that Serpent Mask go to town, gets the end wall's going to knock him back. Oblivion puts Iraqi to sleep and executed with that roadie run, but it will be Volifar going down. Now 2v2, nettetoilette's going to try and get himself out of here, but good luck doing that. Whoa, Tetno turns around and saves the day! Palma just absolutely squishy little Sky, and that's gonna be the double kill. TetnoJJ.
That's the turnaround.
Tetno, hey, hey.
Tetno, hey, hey. Well, they're gonna get a turret, and I'm sure they're gonna be saying hey, hey to that anyway. But what a fight, what a turnaround. And actually, I think they're really underestimating TetnoJJ's power right now. He's got a lot there. They're not respecting it. They're just focusing on IraqiZorro.
They're not. And you know what? He's already so tanky, but he builds himself an Atlas Pauldron. Such a great tool. He gets right into the middle of the mix, gets that Atlas off onto Kval, and just goes from there.
Yeah, it's working so well right now. And actually, we're seeing Kivalvar and Palma Toro going down very, very early. And this is interesting. We're not seeing them prioritizing that much in defense, and this is something Team Secret do quite well, I feel. But they're actually going for that sustain. I've mentioned it a few times, but we're seeing Palma Toro. He's got that Eve, and Mowgli. He's also looks like he's going for that Eve. For them, it's all about staying alive. Right now, they're not doing that. They're really not staying alive.
I mean, well, it's like a different school of thought, right? Like you can build damage and some defense, or just live leech your way through. You hold it right here. Mowgli is drifting dark down, drops the Oblivion. They're gonna go to sleep right there. It's only Tetno is able to block that one. Moving forward though, Mowgli and company stunned up on the edge of that gauntlet. Fountain comes out, but it's not gonna keep him alive right here. Now Kval trying to stand his ground. He's getting some breaking point stacks up. He is infused as well. It's not gonna be enough. He finds the kill, but does go down. Double kill over there for Iraqi. Palma's able to get himself out of here, but Iraqi's build actually doing pretty good work here.
You know what? It is doing work, but part of that was Team Secret. They started the gold mine, maybe not the best decision they had, because in that fight, it was more a 4v3. The gold mine was on Team Secret. It was hitting them the whole time. It was just bashing away. And GankStars, that was an excellent opportunity. And
Did they have vision on that?
They didn't have vision, but they saw the gold mine moving down on the map, because they dragged it down, and from that you can tell that the other team is on it. And they did that. They got into position. They recognized that Team Secret were clumped up together again. We actually saw IraqiZorro's, his wait for did a lot of damage there. They really took advantage of that. And even though we're seeing IraqiZorro going down quite a lot, it doesn't matter. We're seeing the follow-up coming from TetnoJJ, and I really, really have to commend nettetoilette. He's doing a fantastic job of just being in Team Secret's face right now.
Oh, definitely. I think the shot calls across the board, the itemization is just really good. I talked about Tetno Tetno's Atlas, but Net having his as well, it's just such a great tool. And now he's got the Shiver Steel. It's going to allow them to just choose a target and stick on him so well.
Yeah, and actually, I'm very kind of concerned for Team Secret now, GankStars. So they're the ones drawing to lead. This is where they should be doing so fantastically. IraqiZorro, look at the items on the board. He's going for his third. I think it'll probably be a Shatterglass, also using card. I would like to see Shatterglass.
You would like to see the Shatterglass?
I would love to see Shatterglass.
What's the reason behind that?
I just like damage.
I just like damage.
No, he's getting a lot.
Art of the throw.
Art of the throw. No, he's getting a lot of good fights. They're positioning from Team Secret. If he had the Shatterglass, he'll be wiping them out. Wiping them out.
All right.
That.
We'll see if it's going to come to light here. Net, he's going to go ahead and flare the bush that he already has the scout trap in. I like that. Overkill. Venn diagrams of flares coming out here, just completely trying to take control of the middle area of this map. We have Kraken out for, she's been out for about a minute now on the map, but neither team really, I don't think they want to get into it without full control after a fight. K-Ball, well, that's reflex, and he's able to get himself out of there, so quite a long cooldown on that gauntlet.
Yeah, it's quite a long cooldown. It's a shame, you know, I feel like with GankStars, they're really picking their fights well around that gauntlet. Whenever they're using the gauntlet, they're really successfully crowd controlling Team Secret. And we're seeing all three members of Team Secret caught. And because they're so squishy, they don't want to be caught in a small area like the gauntlet, especially with a Crystal Vox around. So they want to get out. And then what happens is their reflex blocks are used, their crucibles are used, and it leaves them so open for TetnoJJs.
Mowgli with a very offensive drifting dark there, but it's going to be K-Volivar suppressing fire. Let's see if he can stand his ground. Nice death from above, but it's K-Vol eating a lot of damage. Tetno just chunking through him in that choke point, but it turns around onto Iraqi. Now Iraqi on the back lines of his team, exactly where he wants to be. It's K-Vol. He's going to be attacked by Tetno. Just a couple basics, stunned up, and he is dead. Team Secret now, they need to tuck tail and run. Can Palma get out of here? Or does Tetno find the kill? He's going to miss the impale. He's left a little bit vulnerable. Oh, the forward rush, almost enough. Tetno should be able to get himself out of here, but Mowgli smells blood. He's like, I am Rome, but I am Samuel. I will come forward. I will find the kill, or maybe not with the Vanguard. Gets him into fighting shape, and that regeneration coming out, just absolutely insane. Between the Aftershock and that Eve, he's just right back into fighting shape.
It's interesting. Mowgli, so he's playing the roam position on that Samuel. He's got one defense damage item, and that's the Eve. And actually, against the 1v1 and against that Crystal Vox item, he's got a good fighting chance because Crystal Vox, he does not do in those 1v1 situations. And I actually feel if Mowgli had pursued that, he probably shouldn't have, but he could have taken down IraqiZorro.
Potentially. I almost feel like he should have gone for Tetno, who did go south, and you have really long range on that Malice and Verdict.
Oh,
but at the same time, like, yes, you have an Eve, but so does Iraqi, and he also has the Aftershock. So if you proc that, you're going to get a little bit of lifesteal back, and it's going to make it quite hard.
IraqiZorro, his damage comes from his resonance. If there's only one person there.
It does, but Mowgli's coming out of his skill shots, right? All right, let's see. We'll talk about that later, as it looks like maybe another engage potentially. K-Vol rooted into place. Gauntlet right on his face, but Death from Above comes down to keep him alive and healthy right there. Oblivion's going to come out. It should put Tetno to sleep. No, it's not. It's just Net. K-Vol's down. Palmatoro, he's quite low. Mowgli, he's dead. Team Secret falling apart. IraqiZorro, he wants to chase. He is committed with that Vanguard. Palma gets it. Iraqi not able to secure the kill, and I mean, I feel if Palmatoro had gone down there, just complete disaster.
I think Palmatoro needs a rename. Palmazorro. Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Palmazorro.
Calm yourself, humanist.
Right.
Calm yourself.
Woo, I'll fan myself over here. That's all right.
Yeah, I feel like in these fights, what we're seeing is K-Volivar, he is just going down so fast. You know, he's getting so much crowd control. He's getting the impel. He's getting the gauntlet. There is no mercy for K-Volivar here. And actually, he is trying so hard to get onto IraqiZorro. But the thing is, IraqiZorro, he's got that metal jacket. And K-Volivar, where's that armor pierce? It's not going to be doing much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not coming out, but this is really just not his build right now. I think, you know, you go for the tier 3 boot, so you have that 12-second reset. He can position himself a few times, but I don't even know if he's been living 12 seconds through these fights, and that's actually quite a worry when you have a breaking point. You're looking to just build up those breaking point stacks and sustain through the fight.
You know, that's what's really happening, and also because, you know, GankStars, they're quite mobile, I would say, and they're clustering all around him. He's not getting the chance to deal the damage. He is building up those breaking point stacks, but he can't get through the armor, and that's why GankStars are able to stay alive long enough. So Palmatoro, he's the one that could probably pick up the kill very easily on IraqiZorro, as we saw, and the same for Mowgli. But right now, I just feel like K-Volivar, there's too much CC going on him, and maybe Saul was not the best pick.
Yeah, well, credit to Tetno. I mean, he's been landing these, and Gauntlet's going to come down. They're on to K-Volivar to start things off, but they did block the Atlas right there. Iraqi is down immediately in this fight. And now it's GankStars on the run. Team Secret on the chase, suppressing fire, and that's going to be slowed down, flushed down the toilet right there. Team Secret taking control of that fight like they haven't done in quite a while. And with that, only Tetno on the map, this should be their Kraken.
This is going to be the Kraken. I liked what I do like what Mogul was doing there. He stayed there, pushed the minions out, made sure TetnoJJ wasn't going to go down and steal the Kraken. And actually, this is probably going to be a very successful Kraken take. And I want to see more of those fights going Team Secret's way, because that was very successful.
A very successful Kraken take.
TetnoJJ, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this?
Be a legend, Tetno.
No, he's not. I cry.
Oh, it's all right. Well,
never mind.
Bible thump, Tetno didn't steal, but you know, it's probably the smart play. If he goes down, then his team is now in a 2v3. It can get quite dicey there. So Tetno making the pro call and just pulling off the gas a little bit. But Team Secret, they should be able to accomplish quite a bit. 21 minutes into this game, 13 to 11 kills in favor of GankStars, although a tiny net worth lead going over to Team Secret. Right now, this is all about who can make the plays as they get into these engagements. Drifting Dark is down. Mowgli, he wants to fight with them. I feel like Mowgli's a little off these Drifting Darks consistently through the game. Gauntlet's down right on Palma's face. Oblivion should put Tetno to sleep, but that Wadeward comes through, and well, rest in peace, Palma Toro. Okay, Volivar's gonna try and stand his ground. He's got breaking points, he's infused, but it doesn't matter. Mowgli, he's low, he's gonna be forced back, and this is gonna be, well, turret getting very low, probably goes down, but this is gonna be money in the bank as GankStars is able to kill this Kraken off.
Oh yeah, looks like Team Secret, they're gonna be losing money on that venture there. And what went so wrong there? Actually, everything went very wrong there for Team Secret.
What went wrong? Well, actually, everything.
You know what, was going so well, but nettetoilette, your gauntlets, man, they are on point. They were beautiful. He's stunning everyone every time. And actually, it's catching Palmator off guard. He's not getting his Aegis up on time. And then we're seeing that beautiful chain impale coming out from TetnoJJ, and it's doing a lot of damage there. And we can really see it affecting him. And then what was really nice was the positioning. He Githian walled Palmator into the turret, into the demolished tower there.
Yeah.
And it was actually doing a lot. It really caught Team Secret in a bad position. They lost 2 of their members. And actually, they're now, well, not that behind in gold. It's only 200. But you know what? They're still behind in gold.
You know, I love to exaggerate, but this is no exaggeration. This is my honest opinion. nettetoilette's Arden this game is one of the best Ardens I've seen in the last 3 months, I gotta say. Like Flash, he's been playing really nice Arden as well, but these gauntlets are dropping literally right on top of players. He's there with the Vanguard to bail his allies out consistently, and just every single one of his activations, the Atlas, the Shiver Steals, they've been really on point here.
Yeah, they're so good. You know, we're seeing Volks dropping the base and then he's dropping the gauntlet. I don't know. There's so many things dropping. But GankStars, they need to keep fighting like this. TetnoJJ, nettetoilette, TetnoJJ actually, he's doing also a really good job of frontlining for the forward barrage, but here's an offensive coming from GankStars.
Yeah, and Mowgli, the Drifting Dark forward once again when it feels like they wanted to be kiting back a little bit. Gauntlets down, Team Secret trying to hold their ground. Looks like Kevol's getting pretty good damage off here. The Atlas is gonna come out on the GankStars, so maybe they want to reposition, or maybe not. Iraqi, I don't know if that's where you want to be standing. IraqiZorro is dead. Team Secret on the chase. nettetoilette last man standing. And this is gonna be Team Secret taking the ace. And they should be able to move forward and close the game out off the back of this one. Look at these respawn timers. GankStars are done.
This is, yeah, I think this is game for sure. Well, I'm not gonna say for sure, but this is game for sure for Team Secret. And what a push that was, what a fight. And it came down to IraqiZorro's positioning. You pointed it out, he just put himself away from his allies, from his front line, and that just did not work. He left them in a very vulnerable spot. Team Secret taking the first game.
Yeah, I mean, it's either a slight misplay or a miscommunication, but whatever the case, Team Secret taking advantage of it in the moment and able to move forward, get the ace, and close that game out. Hyped right there to be able to take game 1 in this series.
Yeah, K-Volver, he looks a little bit nervous. And, you know what? I don't know what I was gonna say.
And, yes, my name is Shingy.
Yes, that is my name, and you're a humanist.
That's right. Well, it's a nice way to start things off here. Look I feel bad for Mowgli's mohawk there. You know, like the headphones, they're not too cool to it.
No, they're not. I actually felt that wasn't Team Secret's smoothest game. They may have won that, but there are definitely mistakes that they made that you wouldn't expect of Team Secret, and GankStars did punish them for it.
Definitely. Well, it was a very interesting composition, and to talk about that composition a little bit more, we have 4-Core Jester and our analyst at the desk.
I feel like there was definitely a very breakout character here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there was something in this game that just was incredibly strong and something that we haven't seen much of in the European Championships thus far.
Rome Samuel.
Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. I mean, this was a first for us this weekend. I think we didn't get one in NA either, but woo, Mowgli, like his early game damage was off the charts.
Yeah, I mean, they talked to us about this. They said they are comfortable playing Samuel in any of the 3 positions. They kind of laughed a little bit afterwards as if it was a joke, like, oh, Mowgli, you're not going to do it.
He's always laughing
and then
and
Mowgli
joking.
did it, and Mowgli won with it. That's like the standard of Europe at this point. Is Mowgli did it, Mowgli won with it.
It's the standard of secret, maybe.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, this is very true. There's definitely a lot of things to think about when we look at this game, though. Like, we saw Team Secret pick up a 4-minute turret. The pressure coming out of this composition was extremely high. But GankStars didn't really do themselves any favors by picking up Vox, who now continues to prestigiously have a 0% win rate in this tournament. And we talked about this right in the beginning. It's like, there's a lot of things you could have potentially picked up. I actually would have preferred the Saw go over to GankStars because you have a lot more flexibility in the crystal power path going into the Sky, going into the Samuel. But Kvalifar on this Saw is a huge comfort pick for Team Secret, and they ended up taking it home.
Yeah, Kvalifar, I mean, that last team fight, we were all in the back, all of the other casters in the back, and we're like, he's had 17, 18, 19, 22 stacks. Like, he had so many stacks on this breaking point built up, and it just ended up, the fights were very, very close throughout the game. Those gauntlets coming out of nettetoilette were absolutely phenomenal for GankStars, but unfortunately, that's one of the risks of Arden is if you don't have that perfect gauntlet in the late game, it can cost you the fight.
Yeah, there's a number of specific things that GankStars really needed to turn around to win this game. A few times, TetnoJJ actually left team fights that could have been an ace. He was a little bit too passive in some of these scenarios, not realizing perhaps the full amount of damage he could absorb, and he just always ended up backing up. There were so many times where there was just a little bit that needed a little more damage that could go out, but on the other side of the equation, IraqiZorro was also being a little bit too aggressive in these moments. I'm not sure if it was a shot call coming from him where his team wasn't following him up, or maybe he just had a wild idea that he was going to be able to go in and delete the team. But if Saw's not Atlas, 25 breaking point stacks hurts a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And like to the point you just made about TetnoJJ not necessarily going in all the time, backing off maybe when he shouldn't have, he only had 1 death in that game, where pretty much everyone else in the game, let alone on GankStars, was sitting at 5, 6, or 7 deaths or so. So that definitely kind of shows that he was backing away from these fights. Yeah, it's very difficult to kill a Lance. He's really tanky, but when it's that large of a disparity, then it shows some sort of issue of not committing with your team.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think we should definitely talk a little bit about this Rome Samuel and why it works. So Samuel, as a character or a hero, he has his passive, which gives him pretty much unlimited sustain. If you're building really tanky, it allows you to get into the front of the enemy line and just continue auto-attacking whoever is there, continually giving you energy, popping down the Drifting Dark, getting a lot of damage off. We saw early game Samuel actually soloed out IraqiZorro in just almost a 1v1 setting to the backside. I think the Eve was a little bit of an interesting pick. I do like Aftershock a little bit better on the Rome Samuel position just because you get to proc it so often and it gives you cooldown and energy regen anyway. But it does work because the pressure is high. It denies that power pick from the other team and allows you to run pretty interesting poke comps that we saw Team Secret just do.
Well, speaking of the Aftershock, I really want to get your opinion on the build from IraqiZorro as well, going with the Aftershock as the first item on the Vox. Obviously, it does give you a little bit of extra burst when you fire off a Sonic Zoom or a Pulse, but you mentioned it also helps to increase the cooldowns that you're looking for, but so often we see Vox go for the breaking or the alternating current into a broken myth, but this was a lot different, and it did actually work out for a while for Iraqi.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives you some solo kind of 1v1 potential, which is, I'm assuming, what GankStars was thinking about. Like, going double weapon with Lance can be pretty risky, especially when you are going up against comps like Sky, Saw, and Samuel, which are essentially going to kind of split up. So focusing one down might be kind of hard, but on the other side of the equation, I think if you're going just for a pure CP build on the Vox, you're also going to have a hard time splashing all your damage to the enemies because they will split up very often in the team fights. So.
Despite how atypical some of, or a lot of that game actually ended up, I was continuously impressed that the gold was fairly even 22 minutes into that game. We were like about 1,000 or so between the teams. It's definitely neck and neck. Team Secret might have eked out the first win, but it is a best of 3. Apparently, we didn't actually know this, but you guys have a little bit of a voice onto this one. We asked and you answered, who do you think is going to win this one? What's the score going to be? And the results might be a little more expected here, Bacon.
Yeah, 61% of the vote in favor of Team Secret. I think especially after game number 1, if we continue to run this poll, that's going to swing even further in their favor, perhaps.
Right,
but
yeah.
It's so hard to to vote against the team that has been on fire, the team that has won 21 consecutive best of series in a row. But GankStars, if they're going to look to break that streak, they have to start it right here in the draft for game number 2.
Yeah, and as we go into this draft, I definitely would love teams to kind of steer clear of this Vox pick. He's not having a lot of success in the current meta. I definitely think there's better picks. And the benefit you get on side B is you can leave multiple options open. We saw Team Secret do that. But once again, Double Hill completely off the table, not even possible.
And well, Team Secret, again, putting some priority on this Samuel. But now as GankStars, you have to wonder, where is this pick going to end up? You cannot draft just around the fact that, oh, there's going to be a Samuel in the lane or in the jungle. Like, you don't know where it's going to be.
Yeah, and then Finn coming online for GankStars is actually a pretty good pickup. We saw in the past GankStars prioritize Finn as the ban, so they are able to get a hold of the Lyra or another character that they want to grab. But with the Finn and the Lance coming through, it's a really heavy front line. It'll be interesting to see what they want to put behind it.
Yeah, I assume it's going to be something extremely squishy that's going to stay in the background, the hyper carry that they're looking to protect. But for now, Team Secret on the clock, going to take that Sky again, so looking pretty similar.
They could pick up the Saw here again, too. I mean, they just won with the comp. They don't necessarily have to win this game to move forward, even though they want to, so they don't have to show any new cards. But if they don't pick up the Saw, that is a really good option for GankStars. CP Saw path is really strong into the Samuel and the Sky. But if Kestrel does come through, it looks like we might have that Roam Samuel again. And GankStars is probably going to look to pick up a Celeste or some sort of backline CP carry.
Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be another Roam Samuel. I would assume the Kestrel will be, actually that could go either way with Palmatoro or Cavalifar. So this final pick for GankStars, there's so many flex picks to deal with, and they are going to go with that Celeste.
Yeah, the Celeste does come through. So barrages from the back line going into another triple PokeCon from Team Secret. It's going to be an exciting match.
All right, well, send a burrito for 2 to your boy Humanist and Jinyi.
Whew. Oh, we're live.
Okay.
I heard talk about burritos, so
I like that.
it's things are heating up with the series right here. We got some fun picks.
Oh, we do.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to get this started. Xingyi, I don't know. Team Secret, they're gonna take game 2. GankStars.
They're going for that risky composition again. You know, when Team Secret, you're like, Samuel, yeah, that should be lane.
A bit of a Kappa composition, if I could pull out.
Oh, no!
That's all right.
Next time.
We will find. Kappa stays out once he comes out right here. Team Secret versus GankStars. These are 2 of the hottest teams we have seen in quite some time. And this is going to be fireworks coming in here. And Team Secret, this is one of these drafts, once again, that's a little off the wall.
Very off the wall. And, you know, I thought this time maybe they were going to play a little bit more conventional, go for that lane Samuel, or even that jungle Samuel that we've come to know and love. But no, they've gone for that kind of thing that they did before, push comp, very high damage. They managed to take into the late game last time and win. And we're seeing that very tanky composition coming up from GankStars again. They've got a Lance, they've got a Finn. That's a good front line there.
It definitely is, and it's a little bit different. You know, I like the Arden in the mix there, but I think Finn should be able to get a lot of work done. Looks like we have a small delay as these teams are going to take a second before we get in the game. There we go. Thumbs up all around. Looks like yeah, things are all good. Just making sure we know exactly what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, Team Secret, I think this is one of the championships where they were a little bit more nervous about the competition coming in. You know, it seems like the other teams, especially with this Evil 8 format, have had a lot of time to practice, figure out compositions, figure out the strengths of their team coming into this championship.
You know what's interesting? I actually spoke to Team Secret after their intense game with Mouse Sports yesterday, and I was like, you know, you might be facing Mouse Sports or GankStars in the semifinals. Who would you rather face? And they said Mouse Sports.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mouse Sports. I mean, Mouse Sports did incredibly well up against Team Secret.
Oh,
like
gosh.
I thought that was going to be their series, honestly.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2 fights going differently. It quite surely could have been. But here in this matchup, we're going to have K-Volfar on the Kestrel up against the Celeste, IraqiZorro in the lane. How do we see this playing out?
Well, the thing about the Celeste is, we don't see many Celestes, and actually she's very, very powerful. And she's got a lot of front line there for her, and I'm a big fan of front lining for Celeste. I know it's all about positioning, but what I'm worried about is, we've seen some of IraqiZorro's positioning. Sometimes he gets in a little bit too close a range for the hero that he's playing. Celeste, once she gets to that level 8, her Helio will be overdriven. That range will be incredible. He needs to make sure he stays in that back line.
Definitely, and I imagine, he could get into that similar situation before.
He's just looking at the Kappa.
Checking out my Kappa right here.
Yeah, he's got a little pin as well.
And I think people will notice the Kappa shingy. But look, let's talk about Iraqi.
Yeah,
right?
let's talk about Iraqi.
Now, if you make a positioning mistake 1 game, right? But if you do the same thing in game 2, like that starts to be pretty questionable. And I think from my perspective, he's the kind of player that should be able to learn from those mistakes.
Yeah, and I think he should be. I think for the Vox game, there were certainly times when he was playing a Crystal Vox, maybe a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah.
A few times, and I
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and actually I think, it did cost him the game at the end. This time for Celeste, his range should be much longer. He might have come a little bit closer, but there is a definite gap that he should be trying to keep between him and Team Secret.
Definitely, and he asked earlier, he said, have you said IraqiZorro yet? And
No, it's just Iraqi Dunzo.
Iraqi Dunzo. I haven't said it yet, but if he gets up frontlining for his team with the Celeste, we might have to call it out.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to call that one out. And actually, if this could actually work out really well, Team Secret, they have a Samuel, they have a Kestrel, and they have that Sky. The only person I think that has the ability to dive straight onto Celeste is Sky. And if she does that, and she kind of ends up behind GankStars, that is a very vulnerable position that she's going to be in. And that actually works out quite well for GankStars.
And I mean, you actually have a lot of CC coming out of GankStars, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you do dive in, you try to commit, you can be triple stunned up instantly. I mean, that's like 3 seconds of CC right there. It's really tough to deal with.
Yeah, they're not going to block off it. That forced accord, we've seen it. Once we get into the past 20 minutes and you get some cooldown items, it is up like every 20 seconds. And, you kind of just have to start saying, well, maybe we can't avoid it. Maybe we should just play being pulled in.
Check it out, Mike.
I can't stop checking out the Kappa.
Well, guys, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a reset here on this game. Just make sure everybody's loaded in properly, and we'll get this going in just a moment here. I want to make sure everybody's all loaded in correctly, and we're having the most fair playing field possible.
Well, it's been very intense so far. This is exactly what I want, and,
Exactly what you wanted,
exactly,
huh?
this is
Just trying to get that camera time, huh, Xingye?
Yeah.
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 So what's up? How's the Vainglory scene in Scotland? I gotta ask.
You know what? Palmataro, he's from Scotland.
Is he?
He is.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a French team, so it's like France. Well, I guess it's France, Portugal, and Scotland.
Represent.
Wow.
Scotland.
It's like secret international over here. But that's pretty cool. The power combo coming together.
Yeah, it's Scotland is good. Scotland is fresh.
Scotland is fresh. You always talk about hearing the sheep out there.
No, I can hear the cows. You're just like, the cows, here they go again. But enough about the farm animals.
Enough about the farm. Well, we'll see some farming soon enough right here. Speaking of, what's up, farm? Hope everybody is doing quite well out there in your Twitch chat. Drop your Keepos, your Kappas, your Kappa Prides. We'll try to fill in some time here. These guys should be loaded in pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're pretty hyped up. What happened?
They're hyped up. This is the most serious I've seen Team Secret.
Yeah.
Barring the first competition that they were actually in, this is the most serious I've actually seen them.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I said before, there is no elimination bracket. They need to win this. They're going for that Grand Slam. 3-time consecutive European champions. That's quite the...
That's like even if you weren't winning money, then they were talking about pride, just being able to say you're the best. Yeah, that's great to win a championship. But if you could say you win 4 in a row, that's just, all right, I'm done.
You're done? You're out of here?
Yeah, I'm done. I retire at that point.
Okay. Well, it looks like GankStars, they've cleared it pretty fast, and maybe Team Secret should watch out.
Maybe they should watch out. Indeed, they make the rotate over. Team Secret decide they don't want to deal with it at all. So a very interesting rotation. They're right back to base.
Yeah, and I actually think it'll be really good for them to try and fight it out. And I think Team Secret, they did a good decision, being a little bit wary, being cautious, just teleporting back. Because there's so much CC on the side of GankStars that it's very easy for IraqiZorro to land those supernovas. And that, they do a lot of damage, actually, at level 1.
They definitely do. And it's very distracting. Don't tell my boss, but I saw him drop some kappas in chat just now. It's very, very professional of him, and I like to see that happening.
Throwing a wrench into the works there.
Throwing a wrench into the works,
Hey.
of course. And keeping it professional, ever professional.
We're gonna call you out on that.
We will not let that slide. We can cast, we can chat, we can do it all. And GankStars, I think they're in a really good position here. Like, you just have to bide your time moving forward. And preferentially, I think I really would prefer to have this ability to have CC, but the high damage output out of Celeste. Like, you have high damage output out of all the heroes for Team Secret, but they don't have the ability to really control a fight.
Actually, what I'd be expecting to see is K-Valfor. She should be out farming IraqiZorro right now because there's a lot of harass. We're seeing that nice rotation coming out from the rest of Team Secret. And nettetoilette.
nettetoilette eating a lot of damage, but he wants to frontline for his team, but not just yet. Polite Company going to give them a little bit of durability. Iraqi trying to get himself backwards. That forward barrage, maybe if he was just a little closer, could be cleaning up a double kill, potentially even a triple kill. Team Secret, they are in a great position to just apply pressure right now. GankStars got to be very careful how they approach this defense. Getting wall out of Tetno, just buying about a quarter of a second there. It looks like Net's gonna think about teleporting out, but if he teleports out and they see that, instantly you just go and apply pressure, right?
Yeah, definitely. IraqiZorro, he's got that potion. He's been activating them non-stop, but there is so much pressure coming out from Team Secret. Look at this. This could go down even faster than the first turret from the last game.
Could it though? That was a 4-minute turret.
That was like 3:59, so yeah, 4 minutes.
No, it is very low. Net will teleport out. This is the problem with the Celeste, right? Like, she's very, very strong. Once you get up past that level 8, you start to get some items on her, but early on you can abuse her ability in the lane, her inability to do much in the lane. And this is forcing Tetno to just stick around as well, so he's not going to be getting much farm. And, well, I guess the flip side on that argument is if Palm was up there trying to pressure, he's not getting farm either, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tetno's actually ahead right now, 16-11, and you kind of don't want to be pouring a little bit more money into Palmator, and they're trying to do that by taking that turret down really quickly. But the defense actually coming out from GankStars is good right now, and they're able to prevent that turret from going down. So they're going for the good decision here. They're going to take their jungle farm. They're not going to get the middle camps, though.
Okay. Now, assuming that this style of play keeps up, Team Secret want to push turrets down. How long do GankStars need to keep this turret up for them to feel safe, for them to feel okay about it going down?
You know, if they take that turret, it gives a lot to Team Secret. And if they can hold it out past like 8 minutes, that's pretty good. Because if they get that turret, they lose control of the jungle. Because what we would kind of see coming out from Team Secret is we'll see Palmator and Mowgli begin to encroach into their jungle, taking away their farm, denying it. And this is something Team Secret do very well, that pushing, that constant pressure. But GankStars, they've obviously watched the VODs. They know what Team Secret do.
We'll talk about pressure. I saw right there the community voting that they were definitely leaning towards Team Secret. I think like 63% in favor of predictions that Team Secret would be winning here. So let's see if GankStars can prove them wrong. Right now it doesn't look so. Net eating a lot of damage and Mowgli playing like he's in a core position. I think Mowgli's having quite a good time on this Roam Samuel.
Oh, I definitely think so. He's having fun out there, being right up front, dealing the damage out. And, he's usually the one enabling his teammates to do that. But this time he gets his own little share. And this time I think the turret is going to go down. But there, as it goes down.
I think we're watching Vainglory right now.
Oh, really? You think so? Okay.
I think so. So it's okay. There's going to be the mids taken away by Team Secret. We talked about this before. Such an important tool when you're looking to shut down your opponent's ability to take anything across the map. Like, if you're going to fight, well, you've taken away their ability to get some regeneration. It's also gold and experience going your way. It's just a great way to do things.
Yeah, definitely agree. And actually, IraqiZorro, he's doing a really good job of keeping up with CS, with K-Valfor. 49 to 46. That's pretty close. They've lost a turret. It's not going to be as easy for them to do it now. We're seeing K-Valfor beginning to stall the lane out, forcing IraqiZorro to come out in a little bit more aggressive positioning. And actually, it's very easy for Team Secret, the rest of Team Secret, to come up behind and flank them.
Definitely. And I'm just trying to think of like the mentality of Iraqi right now. Like, what are you thinking being level 4, having your turret down? They've already applied so much pressure. Like, if I'm in queue right now, I'm bringing up the scoreboard just to see how long it is till I can surrender. But I know definitely Iraqi, he's got different thoughts going on. These guys, they're just looking at different ways they can approach. How are they going to win this game? Buy some time. He's going to be drifting dark. Mowgli moving forward, but off the mark with the Malice and Verdict. So he's going to have to wait for that cooldown to come back up. Palmator has hit level 6, so Death from Above is going to be a tool that they can abuse as they get into these fights. And it's actually pretty easy to land on a hero like Celeste, who's not that mobile.
Yeah, but the thing is, IraqiZorro, he will be keeping behind nettetoilette and TetnoJJ. As long as he doesn't get forward, it's going to be difficult for Palmator to get that target lock and get that Death from Above. There goes the Oblivion.
Yeah, Oblivion. Oh, Iraqi sleeping right there. Tetno's gonna move forward, doesn't pin onto K-Ball. Nice, get the wall backwards into the cribble, and he is roasted and toasted right there. GankStars gonna get first blood. Team Secret may have taken the first objective, but first kill going over to GankStars. Now it's Mowgli rooted in place, but Drifting Dark moving forward, just hovering over Iraqi and Net. Mowgli pumping out damage with that Malice and Verdict. Core Collapse off the mark. Could have been really nice if that did land. But Palma and Mowgli, they're gonna have to think about getting out here.
Oh, cheeky.
Mowgli, no mercy. You wanna teleport out, you better have better positioning than that, Iraqi.
Yeah, very cheeky there. But TetnoJJ, ooh, it's gonna be caught out. Nay.
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 Is there a horse over here?
There is. It's a farm.
It's a farm.
Bringing it back.
That's the truth. It's this is hashtag. It's just farm glory right now. Oh, GankStars, they're able to get themselves out. Don't die right there. So the snowball's really not rolling too hard yet for Team Secret, but they definitely have advantage in this game thus far across the map. Solar Storm almost perfect, almost having the correct timing to be able to steal that out. And that's just game sense right there. They didn't have vision, correct?
Yeah.
Or was it pulled down?
They had it pulled down, and it was a really nice aim. And what we should have seen coming out from Team Secret is one of the members is moving in front of it to prevent those snipes, because they actually could change the game for them. You know, they're not, GankStars aren't that behind in gold, and if you had that stolen, that would have been really bad. So you wanted someone from Team Secret just moving to position to body block it.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think they didn't?
Maybe they're just feeling like Team Secret. They're unstoppable. Just Team Secret things.
It's just like the bad manner, no block. They're like, Iraqi's not gonna get this. All right?
Oh, bad manners indeed.
Bad manners. Well, that's where you can have the pride come into play, just winning a match. But GankStars got to be careful here. Don't want to get caught. Drifting Dark moving forward. Mowgli, questionable Malice and Verdict right there. Quibble will land on K-Volifar. It's going to be the Oblivion. Puts Tetno to sleep, but they instantly wake him right back up. K-Volifar drops backwards. Not going to be able to activate that camo. Net eating a lot of damage. Does get his fountain out. Now Palma held in place and chopped down. Iraqi doing nice job with that damage, but K-Volifar able to trade and find the kill. 1 for 1 there. It's going to be a one-shot, one miss out of K-Volifar. Looks like they want to continue to apply pressure, but a very low energy Kestrel right here. Mowgli just hanging around, sustaining, pumping out that Malice and Verdict constantly, consistently. Forced Accord. That was quite the forced Accord right there, and it's not going to land as Mowgli, of course, able to block that off. And it's just buying time for Iraqi. Tetno jumps forward. Once the combat roll, barely gets himself out of there. Iraqi makes the rotation, gets the kill, and now it's Mowgli on the run.
That was greedy coming from Team Secret. I think they overstayed their welcome. They knew IraqiZorro was coming at that moment. They knew that 3v2 they were going to lose, and they stayed. They lost K-Volifar. That was a bit of a throwaway death, in my opinion.
It's all in the art of the throw, truly. When you realize you have low energy and your enemies respawn, well, a sure way to die is to hang around there under the turrets. And Iraqi sniffs that out, makes the nice rotation. But 9 minutes in, just game. It's, you know, there's been so much action, but not so many kills.
I feel like this is a bit of a trend with these Team Secret games, and the last one I think was quite similar as well. You know, just not much happening. They were getting the global objectives. They weren't getting the kills though, but they were able to, you know, take someone down from GankStars and just push on. And the same was happening from GankStars. We weren't seeing that many aces until the end.
Yeah, we weren't. But once they started coming out, they're just all over the place. And as we look at levels, we look at items, I think GankStars really starting to come into their own. Once you get level 8 on Iraqi and nettetoilette, it's going to feel like a completely different fight for these teams.
Well, definitely. He's got that broken myth, and what you'll be wanting to see is him building up those broken myth stacks, using his Helios, just zoning them away. And then what I would love to see is a really nice Solar Storm. It'll do a lot of damage, especially if Team Secret stay clustered. And actually, it could be really easy because we're seeing K-Volifar taking quite a forward position in those team fights. Maybe a little bit too forward for quite a squishy hero.
I mean, definitely, I would agree. It seemed questionable, but that's the faith in his teammates now. Oblivion comes out, it's going to be resisted by Finn, and it's going to be, I don't know if it clipped Tetno, but Tetno moves in, and it's going to be cleaned up right there by GankStars. So a nice job for Iraqi to land those skill shots and claim that for his own. And this network lead, it's really not too much.
It's really not.
I wonder, like, there's always this argument. Like, if you pick up, like, 3 core heroes, like the Samuel, the Sky, and the Kestrel, debatably, you have a whole bunch of damage at the end.
So much.
Right? But you don't have the ability to really peel for your team. You don't have that defensive capability. So, yes, you theoretically can burst someone down, but on the flip side, you know that Celeste can burst someone down, but you have the peel for in multiple ways.
Actually, one thing I do want to point out, if you look at Palmatoro in any of the future team fights, what he does really well is he uses his Suri Strike to reposition and try and get to IraqiZorro. He waits for that opening. Sometimes he gets it, sometimes he doesn't. And I think that's one of their main things. It's all about trying to get onto IraqiZorro here, and it's been working all right so far.
It's been working all right. Well, at some point, and we've seen this in the past, teams will realize that, hey, like, it's actually too hard to get to Iraqi, so we're just going to start dishing out damage on the frontliners. Tetno will be frontlining, Net as well, and as you start to get in 3, potentially even 4 items in the late game on a hero like Sky, you can actually melt through that Finn or that Lance.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, we're looking at them. TetnoJJ, he's building a bit of defense there right now. He's got that kinetic shield, and you've got double crystal there on the side of Team Secret, as well as that weapon coming from Alpha. Mowgli being on the offensive.
Nice force to cord. Quibble's going to be blocked off, but he does eat a bit of that damage. Palmatoro drops back. The death from above is going to be resisted by Finn. Oblivion comes out, resisted by Finn again, but you get a couple woos, so that's always nice. Iraqi was held in place, but they weren't able to follow up. 1 shot, 1 miss, threads the needle on that one, just barely, almost landing that one, but it's Net and crew trying to get themselves out of here. Fountain was burned. There's no ability to keep himself alive, and Tetno, I gotta wonder, like, what were you trying to achieve right there? Iraqi, he's still in fighting shape, but this turret should be going down very shortly. So 2 turrets down for GankStars, and they're just pushed farther back onto their side of the map. I think one of the biggest things, I see Iraqi just dishing damage out, abusing the range on his Helio. This is where Celeste starts to come into her own.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for GankStars is keep that choke point turret up, right? Because especially with like a Finn and a Celeste.
Yeah, they need to keep it. It helps him zone. And actually, even if Team Secret get the Kraken, it's not the end of the game for GankStars, because Celeste, as long as she stays safe, she's going to be able to take that Kraken. Now, she's got a lot of damage, and she's got that range just to poke away. And she can actually also effectively zone Team Secret away from the Kraken as well, preventing them from putting on their aggro as well. So that's very good.
And then also, is this about a 1 kilometer net worth difference here? I tease.
3 kilometers.
Hashtag never forget.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Please forget.
Well, you can't forget
Just let
something
it
like
be,
that.
humanist. Let it be.
Okay, let it go. You were singing
You know what?
the Frozen song.
Hold it in.
I can't.
That's the point. That's the point of the song.
Tetno
IraqiZorro,
misses
though.
the impale. Iraqi eating a lot of damage. Give all of Marshmallow's blood. Eats him up right here as Team Secret on the chase. Tetno, I don't know if you're going to be getting out of this one, my man. This looks like the ace that we were talking about. Oh, come on. Can you land a skill shot? 1 shot, 1 miss, but they're able to get the ace right there. Team Secret really coming into their own and just finding a great fight. You yelled Iraqi in the beginning of that fight.
Well, you know what was happening? Look, we see Alpha, he's moving to position. This is a good time for them to turn, but we see TetnoJJ and nettetoilette, they're a little bit on the slow on the uptick for defending IraqiZorro. And at that point, they move, but it's a little bit too late, and actually puts them in very vulnerable as well. And we see nettetoilette go now. TetnoJJ, he might be able to escape. He's not going to. And I felt, you know, that point, it wasn't IraqiZorro's positioning. Maybe he was a little bit too far forward. But actually, TetnoJJ and nettetoilette, they responded a little bit too slowly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I blacked out after that 1 shot, 1 miss right there. It's like for the fans, K-Vol, you got to land that to secure the ace, right? I mean, that's what the fans want.
Yeah, that is what the fans out. That's what the farms want. That I don't even know anymore.
I don't know anything anymore.
Who knows that?
If I ever did. Death from Above is going to be coming out, and this is the turret we talked about as like being a nice defensive tool for GankStars, especially with the Finn. He can sit behind that wall, try to land some force to cords, fight in this choke point, but that just absolutely melted.
Absolutely. And maybe one thing that's working a little bit better than the last game for Team Secret here, if you come down to it, is Kestrel. I feel like she does a lot of damage. Maybe Saw does have a little bit more DPS, but she's got that mobility, she's got the active cam on the escape that Saw just didn't really have. And I feel like GankStars, we're not seeing them taking advantage of the CC. I've not seen many core collapses, have you?
I've seen them, but they're not necessarily landing. And
yeah,
I think
what I mean.
that's, you know, it comes down to the fact that that doesn't have the greatest range, and they actually have to be moving forward at you, and it's not an instant cast, right? There's a small delay as well, so it's not the easiest to land.
It's not the easiest to land, but when you've got the Impale, when you've got the Quibble, when you've got the Force Accord, there's a lot of tools in the GankStars arsenal for them to enable IraqiZorro to land it.
But for example, like, you remember when I started screaming and yelling during the Mouse Secret match yesterday?
I vaguely remember that, yes.
Vaguely remember that. That was the active camo with the Force Accord combo, right? Now, you don't always land the combo, but when you do, It works incredibly well. So if they can land this forced accord into a core collapse, quibble on top of that, some Githyan wall action, we can absolutely see GankStars just pull themselves right back into this game. But thus far, they're going to have to be careful, and then things are not going their way.
I mean, the Kraken's out. They're down to their last 2 turrets here for GankStars, and we're seeing GankStars, I think, taking a little bit more an offensive position here, and they really do need to make sure they don't lose this next team fight. Otherwise, I think that this could be a 2-0 for Team Secret if they do.
I do agree with you right now. Like, if you get aced right now, you're gonna see Secret move forward and just melt through some turrets and just eat your Vein Crystal up. And Kvolifar, he is infused at level 12 infusion. Mowgli's level 12. Palma's level 12. He's a bit of a level disparity as well as net worth.
I mean, totally, GankStars, there are like 3 levels in total if you put together all the players. And you want...
Caster math.
Yeah, thank you.
You're really good at that.
Oh, thanks. I just... 3 was very difficult to put together. You know what? Thank you.
I tease. Mowgli with Drifting Dark moving forward. He always throws it forward. This guy never throws it at an angle. I swear he's like, oh, opponents, I'm going to throw him in Drifting Dark right at them. Oblivion maybe landing on a Tetno. Well, he's going to take a little bit of a nap, maybe a nightmare, depending on how this turns out here. Kval eating a lot of damage, gets the active camo down, turns around. He's got breaking point stacks building up. It's going to be a lot of damage. Net does find the stun, but he goes down anyway now. Iraqi's got to use boots to get himself out of here. Now, there's your core collapse.
I see it.
Can we circle it? Can we circle it? Production.
I was right there. I was right there.
If I was back there, I'd be circling. I'd be drawing.
Oh, nice, thank you.
We'd have a snowman and some smiley faces.
Fury Cam, thank you.
Yeah, good job, Fury Cam.
Oh, yes. In that fight, I just felt that TetnoJJ and nettetoilette, they were in the middle. They were taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And IraqiZorro was safe, but not dealing any damage out.
Exactly.
I just felt like he was running away too much. And
A beautiful solar storm.
beautiful. Does a little bit of damage to the Kraken, so...
Well, that's that efficiency.
You know, efficiency,
right
yeah. They're just trying to get to it before it gets to the base. But
this is going to be scary. Do they have to fight before they get in the base? I mean, where do you start this fight if you're GankStars?
well, the thing is, we're seeing Team Secret, they're not going to be too greedy. They're not going to go be super offensive and go in. And actually, what we're going to see them do is going to keep a pace with the Kraken. And actually, as we get to that choke point, GankStars, they have the split focus. Do we take down this high damage team and just try and take them out before the Kraken gets there? I actually think so, yes. Because once the Kraken gets to the base, they need, you know, there's just no hope of standing up against Team Secret. There's a lot of damage coming out, and the damage is beginning now.
Yeah, damage is beginning now. Forced Accord is not going to be landing. That's a 20-second cooldown. Now they get some damage down on something, some heroes or this Kraken, but just kite backwards. Finn's going to let out that woohoo. Mowgli low on energy, going to use his Corrupted Genius to keep himself in fighting shape. Kval's quite low, forces the Fountain out of Mowgli right there. Net trying to frontline for his team, holding onto his Fountain. Death from above has been used. Iraqi just trying to drop Helios from range. One Vein Crystal turret is down. Secret are so close to doing this right now. These are the moments where it gets so tense. Kval, he's gonna be stunned up, but there's no damage to follow. What is going on? Tetno, he gets 1 kill onto Mowgli, but this is just Palma poking from range right now. He still has his infusion, 5 broken misstacks. They need to kill him. They need to kill this Palma Zorro, just making it work right there. He does go down. That's gonna be the ace. Kraken will be going down. And this is like, it's so reminiscent of what we saw with Mouse. GankStars, they are alive, but just hanging on by a thread.
It's down to the crystal. It's 6-6, and actually 3.4 kilometers. 3.4k of gold. It's actually not that bad. Stop jesting. Stop jesting. I'll stop.
How many miles is that?
5, I don't know. I don't know. No, it's 5. But actually, if GankStars, if they get any few, like 1 or 2 of Team Secret's targets, that goal difference is just going to swing back into GankStars' favor. They need to stay in the game. They want to put some vision down, make sure we don't see any backdoors come out from Team Secret. They did that yesterday against Mouse Sports, and that was probably one of the most exciting points.
Oh, it definitely was. And GankStars, they have to have that in the back of their mind right now. You need vision down, especially when you're fighting up against
Where's the vision?
Where is the vision?
We need the vision.
We'll have to check. Sometimes we don't see it on the map, and it does show up on the camera, so we'll just double check that. But Kvolifar, especially on a sneaky hero like this Kestrel, right? You can get him active camo right past that minion wave, just move in there, and GankStars could see their hopes and dreams just go up in a flash. So hopefully that's not going to be the case here.
Well, we do have a few scout chaps down. Everybody seems to be having a go-home party, and I think we're, you know, nettetoilette, he's not picking up any scout chaps, so maybe they're just going to try and defend that choke point as well as they can.
This is where we can see like K-Vol like actually pick up maybe a CP item just for like the increased duration on that.
The lulls.
Even just for the lulls.
I don't know, he doesn't have the space.
No strategy involved there, just for the lulls.
Oh, for the lulls. He doesn't have the imagery, but...
Look at Mowgli, the drifting dark again. This guy's no fear, just drifting dark at your enemies. Tetno, he's gonna be moving back. Oblivion blocked off. Very nice job, GankStars though. Bad place right here. Net, he's gonna be forced to use his boots. This is Palma just eating. He's one-on-one, just killing nettetoilette. Forces the fountain out of him. Net's down. GankStars, they're falling apart. One shot, one kill lands onto Tetno. Doesn't really do that much. But look at Mowgli. He's just starting the fights for his team. He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm Rome Samuel, just making it happen. I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, we have all 3 members of Team Secret Live. That Impale just missed.
Well, yes, it did. Death from above down onto Iraqi. Core collapse landed.
He's gone.
Oh, I saw a core collapse land. I'm freaking out. Iraqi, he's doing it. Well, not quite right there. Palma gets him with Mowgli. That's going to be the ace for Team Secret. And they're going to be claiming this series right here. You know, the majority of the community did have faith in Team Secret. GankStars, they are one of the teams that could have knocked them off if they had put together a couple more fights. But look at that hype. This is the brotherhood that we've seen 4 seasons in a row. And one of the reasons that I think this team does so well.
They've got such good synergy, and actually that is they are guaranteed that the space in the finals now. GankStars, it looked so promising at so many points. They just never fulfilled them, and well, I think that's the end of the road for GankStars now.
Damn, it feels pretty good to be a GankStar.
Still feels good though.
Still feels good, man.
Still feels good.
Well, Team Secret them. I'll give that one credit to Twitch chat, actually. I wasn't reading Twitch chat while casting. I wouldn't do that, boss.
Yeah. No one does that.
Great series, though. It's always fun to see these teams go head-to-head. And Team Secret, you know, they're just doing what they do best.
Another day at the office there for Palmatora. Picks up his backpack, and off he's going.
Yeah, it's just high fives, give some hugs right there. And Mowgli, he's always so happy, like, after the match. I think he's one of the most happy out of everybody. All right, well, it looks like we're actually going to have an interview up on stage with Kvolifar right now. So to the main stage.
Thank you very much, Zinyi and Humanist. What an amazing best-of-3 series we had there between GankStars and Team Secret. I am here with Team Secret's captain, Kvolifar. Kvolifar, just tell me a little bit about how those games felt as a player.
Well, the games, as they were going, we felt that we were taking advantage and controlling the game at our pace. So as the games was going by, especially this last one, because we knew that Lance was going to fall down late game, so we only had to deal with Celeste. We felt really confident because we were confident in our composition. And basically, we saw at each time we were fighting, we were taking advantage over that. So basically, we just do our game, don't do mistakes, don't be grabbed by Finn, then we just engage, and then we just need to stack even on Finn or on the front line, and then we can go for the Celeste.
And you picked quite an outlandish composition in both the games. Samuel Rome, it's the first time we've seen it on a professional stage. What made you decide to play that Samuel in the Rome position?
Well, in first place it was Mowgli, because actually started as a joke because Mowgli was playing with Leon, and then Leon said, I don't know how to play Samuel, so just take it. And then he took it and he played support, and then he realized that actually it was a really strong pick. And then the castle in the sky, we just figured out that if we pack in the lane, no matter the sustain they have, we have a lot of poke, they can't engage on us. So basically we just played our comp and the strengths of our comp. We poke them, and then we take turrets, we take jungle, step by step, no need to overcommit that much. And then we just control the game, we have more gold, and they don't have a chance.
GankStars put up a really good show against you today. We saw Mouse pushing you right to your limits yesterday. Do you think this is kind of the highest echelon we've seen of play in Europe?
Yeah, definitely we learn, even if we won yesterday, we learned from our mistakes yesterday, we learn what Mouse tried to do against us. And basically where we come up today, we try to come out with something that GankStars will never expect ever that we play, because basically nobody played Samuel Rome. Secondly, everyone forgot Saw. So basically we just try to take them out of their comfort zone and force them to play against our comfort zone, and it worked out really well for us with a clean series with 2-0.
Well, you'll be facing up against G2 or Snow Avalanche in the finals. Is there one of those teams you prefer to face up against, and why?
I have no preference in the teams. I'm just going to watch them give their best, and whoever wins and deserves to be in the final is going to have to deal with us.
that they are. Well, good luck in the final. It's the Grand Slam on the cards for you guys. Will G2 or Snow Avalanche take it away from them? That's the big question. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we definitely had two big questions today. Number one has now been answered. We'll get to number two here shortly. But gentlemen, Rome, Samuel, Mowgli, what a god.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Kvalfar just said, nobody is playing this other than Team Secret. And, well, apparently they just won with it twice. So now we might be seeing it a bit more frequently, at least in solo queue.
I mean, first it was the Storm Crown Krolls I was afraid of. Now my solo queue experience is going to be filled with all these roaming Samuels, Fuji. I mean, these guys they set the trends.
Yeah, they really did, and it's pretty nice to see them do something this unique because it's not just effective as a roam in certain circumstances, but it's very much denial from the other team being able to use it as a carry, which we saw a lot of prioritization back during the NA Live Championships. Samuel's got the same kind of prioritization here, so if he comes through the draft, we're seeing more unique ways to use him, and it was really obvious GankStars just didn't really know what to do against this draft. I don't think they planned for it. Didn't really seem like they had a pick to counter it. We saw them getting constantly pressured in the early game for both games, almost losing the first turret in game 2, sub 5 minutes as well. So definitely a great job by Team Secret just pushing the envelope in the draft phase.
And with this victory, Team Secret, their win streak of series is now up to the same number as unique heroes played this weekend. 22 consecutive series wins for Team Secret. They're going to be looking to make it 23 in a little bit later. But first, we're going to have another semifinal matchup, but still want to go back and continue just breaking down what Secret was able to do in these games. Like Fuji was saying, those picks just... It didn't really feel like GankStars had an answer, and they pulled out the Celeste. They'd used that in day number 1. Didn't have success with it then. Didn't have success with it here either. You know, a couple of misplays, but really it comes down to that draft at the end of the day.
And Fuji, you were the one back at draft that said, you know, maybe a Celeste would come out and try to counter this, and it did, and then immediately like, well, I don't actually like the pick.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily as much about the Celeste as it is. It's not my favorite hero for IraqiZorro in terms of just how he's able to be effective on it. Especially after the day 1 Celeste that we saw, kind of the same category, right? Wasn't a very effective push, didn't have a lot of things going on that we could really see Iraqi make plays. We also have this kind of critique for anyone that we're used to seeing on those more mobile heroes, those more playmaker heroes. When you get on something more stationary, you're very reliant on your teammates. And GankStars just, they didn't execute the comp. This is a force the cord into Impale, into Githian Wall, into Core Collapse style of comp. I don't believe one time in the game they ever executed that at all, and they ended up getting picked off one after the other.
And exceptions wanted me to mention, I'm gonna look up the stat here real quick. Oh yeah, it looks like Rome Samuel 100% win rate here at the Live Championships.
I can do that too, except it's 0% Vox. There you go, done.
Ozo has not lost yet this tournament.
100% Ozo, not a pick.
Ozo is undefeated.
Oh man, it's so interesting to kind of see how the pressure mounts in games when teams just stop performing at the levels you kind of would think they did. We saw great stuff coming out of GankStars. I don't want to take anything away from nettetoilette. He was able to land some insane gauntlets in game 1. In game 2, though, he did feel a little bit lost on the Finn, even though that is a comfort pick for him. We saw something very unique from Team Secret where they were just bullying the Finn with this triple poke comp. He couldn't frontline, and they weren't really pulling the trigger on the side of GankStars to pull them in, to go in with the Impale and actually get the core collapse down. Too many things had to go right for GankStars to win. Team Secret just takes it a little bit on the easy side.
Yeah, even in that last fight, we saw it was Finn that went down first. That almost never happens once you get later on in the game. You can take a look at the scoreboard here. 3 deaths for each member of GankStars. It was a very low kill count game. I believe at like 15 minutes or so, there was only about 10 kills on the board. It was a very slow-paced game as far as the kills were concerned, but that's just another strength of Team Secret, their ability to rotate and focus on objectives.
Something that we don't get to see a lot here, Fuji, is that Kvalfar with a barbed needle.
Yeah, he did pick up the barbed needle. My guess is it's mainly just for sustain, since he was constantly getting poked out by the Celeste with some of the supernovas. You can build shielding, you can get the Aegis, which will definitely reduce damage later in the game, but as you're going through the early game, if you're gonna constantly be doing this triple lane pressure, you have a lot of sustain when you kill those waves that are coming through.
And the other thing I want to touch on is Mowgli's build. He did go for the Aftershock. You mentioned it after game 1 that you actually really would have liked to see the Aftershock come out because of how many times you can get procced. Maybe he was listening, but or at least
Maybe
their
so.
manager was listening and then went up there in between games and told him, hey, that's a good idea, food you just had on the desk. You should try this out. And it worked out once more.
I don't want to take any credit for that, but if you are listening, we can, I'll take it.